Hey, hello. Let's come to a comfortable seated position, whatever feels good for you. Resting your hands in any way that helps the shoulders to relax. Lifting your spine up nice and tall. Let's take a lovely deep inhale breath at the top. And then exhale to sigh the breath out. You can gently close your eyes. And bring your awareness to your breath. Start to draw your attention into your lower abdomen. Connecting into the energetic qualities of this space. The gentle vibrating. And starting to visualize a deep orange light radiating from the lower abdomen. As you inhale and exhale, you're going to feel as though the breath is originating in this space in the lower belly. And you can pull that orange light up into the rest of the body. And spread it around the body with your exhale. So we're working into our sacral or navel chakra today. And this is an area where we are said to hold our creativity. This is an area of nurturing. And in order to engage into this navel chakra area, we want to focus quite a lot on working with our udiyana bandha today. So that is the navel lock. And you do this by just gently lifting in the lower belly. You don't want to suck it in to the point where you can no longer breathe. It must be something that you can hold with ease, a very light engagement. But imagine that you're going to pull the lower belly to tuck behind the belly button. So it's a sort of in and up sensation. And you'll notice that when you get that right, your lower back automatically feels supported and the hips feel more open. And this might be a very, very light sensation. You may not notice it at all, that's okay. But just knowing that we're stabilizing into this pelvic region. On your inhale breath, you're going to slowly start to open up the eyes. And then inhaling to lift the hands overhead, reaching up nice and tall. Going to work into a series of dynamic twists. Exhale, twisting to one side. And then inhale, lifting back up. Exhale, twisting to the other side. So flowing with the breath. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist. And keep the movement at the same pace as your breath. So it should be fairly slow and methodic. Feel a lovely opening of the body. A gentle releasing of tight muscles. You can gradually make your twists a little bit deeper as the body starts to soften. And remember to connect into this lower abdominal area. So looking to ignite into the energy of the space with the movement of the twist. The engaging of your udiyana bandha will protect the spine and help to deepen the rotation. Lowering to whichever side you're on now, and just holding here for a moment. Really breathe into the space as you gently turn the body open. Let's inhale to the center and then switching to the other side. And again, holding here for a moment. And then drawing back to center. Start to forward fold over the shins and lifting that lower belly up. Draw it in towards the spine. Softening the body a little bit further into your folds. Let's slowly lift back up to center and switch the legs around. Exhale to forward fold. And again, lifting into that lower belly, making space for the torso to melt. And inhale, coming back up to center. Coming over onto hands and knees. And on the inhale breath, take the right hand to the sky. Opening up through your heart. Exhale to thread the needle, lowering onto the right shoulder. Let's bring the left fingertips forward and lift up onto the fingertips of the left hand, helping to plug the shoulder back slightly. The right hand is pressing into the floor and sliding over to the side. Turn your awareness back to udiyana bandha, lifting into that lower belly, and notice how that affects the alignment and the stability of your twist. On the inhale breath, we're going to come back to center, lifting into tabletop. And hold for exhale. Inhaling, left arm to the sky. And then threading the needle, lowering to the left shoulder. Bring the right fingertips forward. Engaging into udiyana bandha as you open up the side of the ribs. With inhale, coming back into tabletop. Checking alignment. And now working the hands forward into puppy pose. Lowering the forehead towards the mat. So puppy pose, primarily the focus is on the upper back and opening of the chest, a deep engagement into the midline of the spine, but you can also really feel into udiyana bandha in this posture. Lifting into that lower belly and noticing how that allows space in the rest of the torso. On your inhale breath, slowly lifting yourself back in, not quite into a tabletop, hands a little bit further forward, preparing now for downward facing dog. Lifting your hips up and back. Keep the knees bent here and slide your belly button towards your thighs. Flick your tailbone open to the sky and then slowly heel toe the legs up and down. Let's sink both heels towards the floor now, lifting the hips up and back, checking in with Ujjayi breath. On your inhale breath, floating the right leg to the sky, and exhale to step the foot forward into lunge pose. Dropping the back knee down to the mat, and inhale the right hand to the sky. Engage into lower belly to help rotate, bringing the knee and the ribs towards one another. Lift that top hand all the way to the sky, opening space across both shoulders. Exhale to release the hands to the mat, and then inhale to step yourself forward into flat back. Exhale to forward fold. Pressing your ribcage against the thighs, and then inhale to float up, flat back again. As you exhale, bringing the ribs to the thighs and engaging that lower belly into the upper legs. Bend your knees here as you roll yourself up, pressing heavily into the heels, lifting from the shoulders to stand. Let's inhale, taking hands up to the sky, hooking the thumbs above and spreading the fingers wide. Inhale, leaning to the right. Inhale to center, lift up tall, and then inhaling to the left. Inhaling to center, drawing the hands together at the heart center, and then push the hands forward as you round into your back, bending the knees slightly. Lift the pubic bone so that you're rounding into the lower back. On the inhale breath, opening the hands behind you, draw the chest open tall, stick your tailbone out and arch into the spine. Exhale to round again, bend your knees, lift your pubic bone, rounding into the shoulder blades. Let's inhale to open, straightening the legs, sticking the tailbone out, lifting into the chest as we arch the back. Bring the hands together at the heart center again. And then reaching right arm forward, left arm back into a twist. Keep your hips pointing forward. So you're twisting into the torso and the hips are rotating center. Let's inhale, hands at the heart, and then twisting the other way. Left hand forward, right arm back. Inhale to the center and exhale to forward fold. Inhale, lifting halfway up into flat back. And then exhale, stepping right leg, left leg into plank. Let's lower knees, chest and chin to the mat. And then sliding onto the belly and just lifting the heart without any weight in the hands. Point the toes, push the pubic bone and the lower belly into the mat to help lift up the torso, still no weight on the hands. Exhale to release down, sliding through child's pose. And into downward facing dog. If you want to heel toe here, go ahead. If you're happy to find stillness, then work with that. Let's float the left leg to the sky and step the foot forward into lunge. Dropping the back knee to the mat and inhaling the left hand to the sky. Draw your thigh and your ribs towards each other and lift that top arm up. Keep checking in with udiyana bandha and making space in the body. Let's exhale the hand to the floor and then stepping the back foot in for flat back. Exhale to forward fold. Bring the ribs against the thighs, reaching the lower belly onto the upper legs. Inhale, flat back again. And deepening that stretch, so really lengthening into the lower back. Bend your knees as you roll yourself up. And float the hands all the way overhead. Hook a different thumb on top. Let's lean to the left. Back to center and leaning to the right. Back to center. Bring the hands together at the heart. And then rounding into the back, tucking the chin to the chest, bending the knees. Inhale to open the body. Stick the tailbone out, open the chest. Let's exhale, rounding into the back, knees bent, fingers to touch. Inhale, opening the spine. And then drawing the hands together at the heart. Twisting with the left arm forward. Rotate the hip and reach the hand away. Inhale, center, and then twisting with the right arm forward. Working into those Shiva Shakti spiral lines. And inhale, back to center. Exhale the hands to the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, stepping left leg, right leg into plank. Lowering knees, chest and chin. Press the lower belly into the floor as you open up through the chest. We can lightly press into the hands this time, but keep those elbows wrapping to the rib cage. Point the toes back and push the pubic bone firmly into the mat. Gently release yourself down and slide into child's pose. Making your way into downward facing dog. On the inhale breath, taking the right leg to the sky and stepping the foot forward into lunge. Keep the back knee lovely and strong as you float the right hand up. Turn the ribs and the thigh to meet each other. On the exhale breath, lower the hand to the mat and inhale to step forward into flat back. Exhale to forward fold. Lifting halfway, flat back. And then really reach that lower belly onto the thighs as you fold. Bend your knees, rolling yourself up. Work into udiyana bandha to help protect the spine as you unravel, floating the hands to the sky. Let's interlock the thumbs and spread the fingers wide. Inhale up onto the tips of your toes. Staying on your toes, reach to your right. Draw to center, lift tall, and then reach to the left. Inhale to center, exhale the heels down, drawing the hands together at the heart. Let's twist the right arm forward, left arm back. Now stay in your twist, turn your gaze forward, bringing the left hand down and the right arm up. Inhale, back into the twist, and then draw the hands at the heart. Exhale to the other side, left hand forward. Stay in your twist, turn your gaze forward, bringing the back hand to the thigh and the front hand to the sky. Let's inhale into the twist and then draw the hands together at the heart. Exhale to forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, stepping the right leg into lunge. And then inhale into high lunge. Lifting up nice and tall, making space in your high lunge. Let's draw the hands together at the heart. And then exhale to drop your elbow to the outer edge of your front thigh. Making elbow to elbow alignment, so the forearms are making one straight line. Turn your ribs and your inner thigh to touch each other. You're very welcome to drop the back knee down here if that's more appropriate for you. On your inhale breath, you're going to release the hands either side of your front foot. Straighten your front leg and step your back foot in so that you can get your heel on the mat. Square the hips, open up the heart, and then reach that lower belly to the upper thigh as you forward fold. On your inhale breath, float the chest open, and depending on how much space you have, you either can keep the right hand exactly where it is under the shoulder and float the left arm up, or if you'd like to go a bit deeper with a twist, you move your right hand towards the right foot or even to the outer edge of that front foot. So taking a twist in any alignment that suits you. To deepen the twist, you slide that left hip back and you reach your head forward so that you're deepening the left side of the torso. Anchor firmly into your back heel, shorten your stance as needed. Let's release both hands down to the floor and making your way into a plank pose. Lowering knees, chest and chin. And then lifting the heart center into cobra. You can go a little bit higher again if there's space, but keep pushing the pubic bone into the mat. Lengthen the legs away and float the torso up. Be very mindful not to allow your shoulders to crumble and the elbows to lock. We're keeping a curvature into that front body. Exhale to release down. Let's slide through child's pose. And into downward facing dog. Check in with your breath. Checking in with udiyana bandha. Are you still able to lift the lower belly to sneak behind the belly button? Let's inhale the left leg to the sky. And stepping the foot forward into lunge. Squeeze your back knee intensely as you now float up through the left hand. Draw the ribs and the belly to meet. Drop the hand down on the exhale breath and inhale forward, flat back. Exhale to forward fold. Lifting halfway up, flat back, making space into the torso. And then lie the lower belly onto the upper thighs, forward fold. Inhale, lifting all the way up. Hook a different thumb on top as you spread the fingers wide. Inhale up onto the toes. Stay on your toes as you reach to the left. Inhale to center and over to the right. Inhale to center, dropping the heels down as you bring the hands down to the heart. We're going to twist, bringing left hand forward, right arm back. Stay in your twist, turn the gaze forward, and then bringing the back hand to the thigh and the front hand to the sky. Inhale, back into the twist, and then drawing the hands at the heart. Moving to the other side, right hand forward, left arm back. Turn the gaze to the front hand, and then release the back hand down as the front arm lifts up. Let's inhale back into the twist, hands together at the heart, and then exhale to forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, and stepping left leg, right leg into plank. I lie, stepping left leg into lunge, my apologies. On the inhale breath, floating up into high lunge. Lift up out of that back leg, making space for the lower back. Draw the hands together at the heart and twisting to bring your elbow over your thigh. Remember, you can drop your back knee down here with pleasure. Engage into lower belly. Draw thigh and ribs towards one another. Let's release both hands to the mat and inhale to straighten the front leg. Step your back foot in until you can get your heel flat. and the hips square. Lengthen your spine on your inhale breath and then exhale to forward fold. Aiming that lower belly to the upper thigh. Push your right hip back and squeeze the inner legs. Let's inhale halfway up and then taking your twist here, depending on how deep you want to go, keep the left hand under the shoulder, move it to the inside of the front foot or the outside of the front foot. Taking the right hand to the sky. Try not to lean too far over to the right. Extend your head forward and then rotate the bottom rib cage to the right. Let's release the hands back to the mat and now stepping into plank pose. Lowering knees, chest and chin. And sliding your way up into Cobra. Remember to grip the fingertips into the mat. Make sure you're not dumping the weight into the heel of the hand. Slightly draw the hands along the floor to the rib cage to puff the chest open a bit deeper. Let's exhale to come down and then slide back into child's pose. Hold child's pose for a few breaths. On your inhale breath, make your way back into downward facing dog. Inhale to take the right leg to the sky and step the foot forward into lunge. So we're going to move from here into our Triang Mukha Ekapaschimottanasana by dropping the back knee to the mat. Untuck the back toes so that the toes are pointing behind you. And then we're going to start to straighten into that front leg, coming into a half Hanumanasana. And then slowly start to walk your way even further back so that you can sit to the inside of the back foot. If you have knee or ankle issues, you are going to take a Paschimottanasana instead, which is bringing the sole of the foot to the inside of the thigh. You might want to sit on a pillow or a blanket, especially if one hip is really lifting up. To try and stabilize that pelvis, you want to lift the hips very slightly. You're going to move into a forward fold from here. So extending yourself over your straight leg. Keep your straight leg lightly active. You don't need to overexert. But a nice gentle extension forward, working into squaring the body off as best you can. And inhale to lift yourself back up to center. We're going to take us into the reclining position. If you're quite far back on your mat, you might want to scoot your way forward a little bit. And again, you can still do this in your Janu Sirsasana variation. So now we're going to lean slightly back. Lift your bum off the floor, slightly tuck into the lower back to lengthen it. And this might be enough for you. You might feel that the ankle is resisting or the knee or the quad is resisting and you don't want to go any further. If you've got space to go a bit deeper, maybe you want to come down onto your elbows. Make sure you're not compressing the lower back. If you still feel like you've got a bit more space, You can come to lie down on the back, you can rest your hands onto the legs or take them over the back body, whatever feels best. Taking 5 deep breaths here. To lift up, you bring the elbows into the floor, lifting there, and then the hands lifting there until you come all the way up to sit. We're going to work in towards a twist now. So if you're in your Jana Shirsasana variation, you'll twist the other way, bringing your leg the other side. If you're in your Triang Mukha, you're going to bring the straight leg and bring it to your inner thigh. So the sole of the foot touches onto the upper thigh. If your knees and ankles are okay and you can come into a half lotus, then you can go ahead and do that. Either way is fine. We're going to twist to the right side. So inhale and then exhale to twist. If you're in the half lotus, maybe you can bring your hand to hold onto your big toe. Let's inhale to release the body, bringing the foot back down to the mat. We're going to make our way back into the lunge here. So the extended leg will come forward, placing the foot onto the mat, and then lift yourself up slowly and straighten into that back leg again. We're going to hold you for a moment and just pulse the heel back and forth a few times, releasing the tourniquet in that back leg. And then making your way into downward facing dog. From here, we're going to float the left leg to the sky and step the foot forward into lunge. Drop the back knee to the mat and straighten into the front leg. Make sure you're pointing your back toes. Just take a moment in your Ardha Hanumanasana here for a moment, just to stretch into the front hamstring, and then you're going to slowly walk your way back until you can sit to the inner edge of that back foot. Depending on the tightness of the knees and the ankles, you can draw the knees together or open the knee wider to the side. Whatever you choose, make sure there is no pain in your joints, and the knees and ankles must be very well monitored here. We're going to start with the forward fold variation. There's a lot happening in this forward fold. It's not just the hamstring of the front leg, but it's the quads of the top leg, the ankles, and the knees of the back leg as well. The alignment of the SI joints and what's happening in the QLs and the lats all play a role in this posture. Lots working here. Coming back up to sit, we're going to make our way into the reclining variation. So stage one is just to simply lean back. Remember to adjust into the lumbar vertebrae. You can gradually work your way down if that feels good. If your bent knee comes off the floor, that's an indication that the quads have reached their maximum capacity and you should rather lift back up. Knees down, torso up is the better option. Making your way into your pose that you're going to hold now and counting 5 slow breaths. Lift back up now, coming onto the elbows. And then the hands, lifting all the way up. Moving into deer pose by bringing the front foot to the inner thigh. If you feel comfortable to take that into a half lotus variation, you can come up into the inner groin. Sit up tall on your inhale, and then exhale to twist. You can take the bind if there's space, and if there isn't space, don't worry about it. Rather focus on what's happening with the spine. Feel into udiyana bandha here, engaging that lower belly. And then gently releasing from here. You're going to bring the top foot forward again, anchoring into the sole of the foot, and then gradually work your way back into your lunge. Holding into the lunge for a moment, and you can just push forward and back into the back heel, releasing that tourniquet. And then stepping yourself into downward facing dog. If you'd like to heel toe the legs a few more times, please feel free. Otherwise, just holding into stillness. From here, lift onto the tips of your toes, bend your knees and slide your hips up and back. Look between the hands and lightly walk, step or hop yourself to sit. Let's bring the legs out in front of you. And placing the feet flat on the mat. We're going to work into a series of dynamic core rolls. So for the first one, hold your hands underneath your thighs. You're going to lean back and round into the spine. Really lift your pubic bone up so you've got a nice round lower back. Let's inhale. And then exhale to roll halfway down. Inhale, back up. Exhale, this time float the hands. And inhale, up. Getting a little bit lower this time, maybe straightening the legs slightly. And up. I'm going to do this 3 more times, getting lower each time until on the 4th time you lie down onto your back. And all the way down. Take your knees into your chest. So with those core rolls, the semi-core rolls, you really work the hip flexors. You can probably feel over the top of the hips here and into the psoas muscles quite tight. So let's release that with our Setu Bandhasana, half bridge pose. Feet hip distance parallel, lifting the hips up as tall as you can. And I'll really focus on lengthening into that top body. You can interlock fingers or place hands underneath the hips with the focus on creating space in the torso. Space over the front of the hips and space into the quads. Make sure the feet are evenly pressing in, the knees are evenly separated. One more breath here. And then releasing all the way down, rounding into the back as you come down. Draw the knees together and the feet apart into restorative pose. Keep the feet where they are and open the knees as wide as the heels. We're going to drop the legs from one side to the other in windscreen wiper. You can choose to turn the head from side to side or keep the gaze straight up to the sky. The next time you drop to the right, hold it there. You can place the right foot onto the left leg if that feels good, or keep the feet as wide as the mat if that feels good. Take a deep breath in through the nose and sigh the breath out. Close your eyes here for a moment and feel a really lovely sense of release. Release your foot back to the edge of the mat, then bring the knees to center, over to the left. Left foot onto right thigh. Take a deep breath in through the nose and sigh. Let's release the foot back to the outer edge of the mat. Then draw the knees to center. Bring the knees into the chest. And remember, we always move one knee at a time for the least amount of pressure on the lower back. Flatten the thighs against the belly, connecting into your navel chakra area. And then preparing for Shavasana. Get your blankets ready, get your jerseys on, make whatever adjustments you need to feel comfortable and supported and spacious. Slowly start to deepen and lengthen your breath. Running your thumb over the tips of your fingers as you move your toes, ankles and wrists. Coming into a full body stretch by reaching the arms overhead and lengthening into the toes, yawning or sighing, and then bending into your knees, rolling onto your side. On your inhale, breath lift up into a comfortable seated position. Drawing hands together at your heart center in Anjali Mudra. And again, just take a moment to connect into that warm orange light radiating in the lower belly. And as you inhale, you pull that warm light up and down the body. And as you exhale, you move that light around into the limbs, the head, the toes. Feeling that sense of nurturing and creativity. We'll close the class by chanting Om once and Shanti 3 times. Taking a deep breath in. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Raising your hands to your third eye. The light in me sees and honors the light in you. Lowering your hands to your lips, to your heart, and to your mat, bowing forward in recognition of your practice. Blinking eyes open, inhaling to lift. Namaste.